Cost and freight.
In order to start using an Incoterm, it must exist a commercial contract signed by the seller and the buyer. In this contract, they agree on the price of the merchandise, its route of transportation, the port of destination, as well as the Incoterm they will use.
The seller must provide the buyer of certified invoices and prepare and bear all documents and processes needed to export the merchandise. He also must provide the buyer of any transportation documents, like packing lists, bill of lading, and certificates of origin.
At the meantime, the seller must prepare and pack the goods as required and bear all costs of the checking, accounting, weighing, and measuring the merchandise for its accurate transportation. The buyer must accept all risks and costs that may come with them once the merchandise has passed the vessel's rating.
During the transfer, the seller must bear all costs to the port of destination, except for the insurance. He also has to notify the buyer that its product is on the way. When the merchandise arrives to the port of destination, the buyer has to unload it and take charge of all further expenses like customs clearance, duties, and taxes.
Finally, once the merchandise is free of any custom formality, the buyer must manage to take it from the port of destination to its own company.
In summary, in cost and freight Incoterm, the goods are delivered when they are on board of the vessel. Also, the risk of loss or damage to them passes to the buyer at this point. The seller must contract and pay for the costs and freight necessary to bring the goods to the agreed port of destination, but he has no obligations for the insurance. CFR Incoterm can only be used with sea transport.
CIF, Cost, Insurance, and Freight.
In cost, insurance, and freight Incoterm, the respective duties and responsibilities of the seller and buyer are the same as those of the CFR Incoterm, but with the addition of the insurance coverage.
The seller must deliver the merchandise at the port of destination, covering its carriages and costs, and as an addition must provide an insurance for it on behalf of the buyer. Incoterm, the seller must pay the cost of freight to bring the goods to the port of destination. Risk is transferred to the buyer once the goods are loaded on the vessel. However, as an addition, the seller must procure and contract the merchandise insurance. This term also applies only to sea transport and inland waterway trade.